Soft and Wet Go Beyond Guide/Review. I know it's been... Wait, hang on. 6 months? Holy crap, I know it's been a while, but this is insane. Okay, yeah, sorry. The reception of that video was really good and you guys wanted another. So, here we go. This is a stand that's still really popular but very misused. And a lot of people drop it as they think it isn't that good. But I'm here to prove to you that it is still a top tier stand. Some things to note before we start. Because this is a PvP game, a lot of things I'll mention are opinions based on my experience. So nothing is inherently wrong or right. So don't go yelling at me, telling me this stand is horrible, and that you hate me and everything about this game because of it. And yes, I will pronounce barrage properly. Barrage. Anyways, let's get started. On we go to the moveset. Go Beyond is an evolution of Soft and Wet. Some of the moves change, some of them get removed, and some new ones get added. If you're wondering how to get Go Beyond, I've made a video on it here, if that's something you need or want. Now, let's start. Soft and Wet's M1s are fast. They deal 8.9 damage on each hit, which is 13.3 on each crit, and they act as any other humanoid M1s. Barrage deals 1.5 damage per hit, and it's fast, which means it has a lot of hits while you're doing the move. And something to note is that the stand has a high destructive power, which is on par with the World and Star Platinum. Barrage Finisher deals 17.7 damage. It block breaks, but it's parryable, and it also has hyper armor. Vision Plunder deals 15 to 23 damage, it's a projectile that's blockable, and it also blinds. And if you're wondering why I'm saying it has 15 to 23 damage, that's because it has 5 upgrades. So 15 damage is the base unlock, and 23 damage is the max unlock. Not only do the upgrades make the damage higher, but it also makes the projectile faster and increases the blind duration. This move is also cancelable, which means it has no hyper armor. Moisture Plunder deals 0.7 to 1.2 damage per hit. It's blockable and it slows. Again, it's the exact same as Vision Plunder, where it has 5 upgrades, so the base unlock damage is 0.7 per hit, and the max upgrade damage is 1.2 damage per hit. The upgrades also make it so the slowing lasts longer, and it makes the lifetime of the bubbles last longer. This move is also cancelable, which means it has no hyper armor. Friction Plunder deals 30 damage with a huge AoE, but it also has a long wind up and it's blockable. However, this move has hyper armor, which means it can't be cancelled. Bubble Prison deals 16.1 damage, it has a small stun, and it block breaks. However, this move is cancelable, which means it has no hyper armor. Go Beyond, which is basically the ultimate move for this stand. And this move does a lot, so I'm going to try and be quick. It's a projectile that deals 38 true damage. And true damage means no matter what they have, no matter what defense they have, it ignores it and it always does that much damage. It explodes upon contact with a huge AoE. And it bleeds, it removes the limb, it ignores their defenses, and it ignores counters. But it's cancelable. And it also ignores block. So if it is blocked, it deals 19 true damage, and it doesn't explode. And finally, Friction Beatdown. It's a beatdown that deals around 33-ish damage on max HP. And the reason I'm saying ish is because of the move isn't execute, which means it has a higher last hit damage on targets with lower HP. It ignores block, and it's parryable. Okay, and that's it for the moveset. Sorry if it was a big info dump. So as this video gets older, the damage numbers, values, properties and such are probably all going to change with time. So if the damage numbers look different from the time you're watching, that's probably why. Now finally, on to how to use this properly. The way I like to play Soft and Wet Go Beyond is I like to play it very, very aggressively. And that's assuming that the player isn't better than me, because if they are, I usually like to play a bit more passively if they're better. And that's because of Soft and Wet Go Beyond struggles a lot against people that like to use M1s a lot because of it doesn't have that much high primer. And all of its high primer moves are blockable. Because of the stand has a really high destructive power, it's actually quite good to get into a lot of M1 trades, as you are on the same level as Star Platinum and the World. And my go-to move with Go Beyond is always Vision Plunder, because of when it's maxed, it's really, really strong, as it's really quick and it has a really low cooldown. And the blind duration can be quite annoying for some people, as it dims the screen quite a bit. And I can't emphasize enough how much you should use Vision Plunder. Use it whenever they're going to be aggressive towards you, or sometimes you can use it to get out of a combo if you've dashed backwards. And now, because of Go Beyond is harder to land as it doesn't have auto-aim and it's a bit quicker, Vision Plunder into Go Beyond helps. And that's not even if it's been landed. Even if Vision Plunder was blocked, because if they've blocked and they're not running anymore, they usually take about half a second to start running again, which means if you spam Go Beyond right after landing it, you should be able to detonate it, as seen by the video in the background. Vision Plunder makes Go Beyond so much easier to land, as it is a difficult move to get use out of. Now, beatdown into Go Beyond is still true, even though a lot of people say it isn't, but the timing has to be absolutely perfect. After beatdown, if you wait about 2 seconds, you should be able to land it perfectly. Moisture Plunder is a very difficult move to actually use, as it doesn't have any high primer and it has a tiny bit of wind up, and it's cancelable. So I like to use it for space if people are getting a bit too close to me, and sometimes I like to dash around them and then use it if they're caught off guard. And for teams, it is very good because you can spin in a circle and do it all around you. It's a very good space creating tool, if the player isn't being very aggressive. Now, after any sort of ragdoll, like Jawbreaker, Go Beyond, etc., using Friction Plunder while they're on the ground is really good because it means they have to block. And if it lands, that's really good. You can use Moisture Plunder while they're on the ground again, as on get up they have to block. So after that, you could probably use Jawbreaker if you haven't used it already, or Bubble Prison. But Bubble Prison can be hard as it has a teeny tiny bit of wind up, but it is an awesome block break. Bubble Prison is really, really good, but you have to be quite close to the player in order to make it land. So keep that in mind. Now, Bubble Prison into beatdown is possible, but it's quite a bit unreliable. So unless the player is really bad, you're probably not going to land it. Now, something I would like to say is Go Beyond is very, very fun in teams, as it has a lot of good AoE moves. And the cooldowns aren't that long. Go Beyond can be difficult in a world of time stop stands like Steel Bull Run, because you could just be time stop and 40% of your health is gone, so that could be challenging. And it doesn't have bubble generation anymore, so you can't avoid time stop with that. So usually when I do get any sort of time stop, I usually like to do Friction Plunder or Moisture Plunder, as it creates a bit of space. And sometimes if I'm feeling really, really risky, I like to chuck Go Beyond at them, and sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't. And that's it for how to play Soft and Wet. Again, I could just go on and on about how to use every type of move in every given way, but what I've spoken about is stuff that I've used and the stuff you're seeing in the footage in the background. And now, on to how to play against this stand. In order to play against this stand, it's usually quite easy, because of most people that play this stand aren't usually that good with it. Most of them just throw out their projectiles like Vision Plunder and Go Beyond without really trying. So if you play really, really aggressively, you can kind of just M1 and cancel most of their moves if they're just spamming them, which most of them usually are. However, if they're good, you need to watch out for Friction Plunder, as they use it quite often. Also, watch out for Vision Plunder, as if they have it max upgraded, it's really, really fast. So if you're playing at a distance, try and hover your finger over the F key just in case, because it is very quick. And if they do throw out Go Beyond, and it is close to you, try and run or dash out of the way, but sometimes it detonates if the ping's weird. And if you really think you're going to be hit by it, just block, because it does half the damage. Something that can be scary is that if they max out Moisture Plunder, the lifetime is very, very long, and the damage can be quite high if a lot of them land on you. So they might play around the bubbles going in circles. So try and avoid them, and if they pose inside of them, just do the same thing in pose as well, because a lot of people like to stall with that move. And one more thing about Moisture Plunder is that they do detonate on their own, so you need to look out for that in case you're playing near them, as they do have a sort of AoE explosion. Like how I mentioned Friction Plunder earlier, it's their only high primer ability, so just keep a close eye out for that. Also, in this case, block is your best friend, as Bubble Prison does block break, and Beatdown does go through block. But if you're decent, you can just parry Beatdown and be fine. So after any ragdoll they do, try and block and dash away ASAP. And Time Stop is really good against Soft and Wet Go Beyond, like most non-TS stands. But if you don't have Time Stop, baiting and waiting is a really good way to play against them, as if they just use their cooldowns, they have nothing to get off you. Baiting Friction Plunder and Go Beyond is probably your best shout, as they are actually quite good against people that don't expect it. And that's really it for how to play against it. Basically, in short term, just try and cancel as many of their moves as you can, as the stand doesn't have very much high primer. And now, on we go to my final thoughts. So, for my final thoughts on Soft and Wet Go Beyond, I would like to say it's a really good time. It does take a bit of getting used to, but once you learn how all the moves work, it is quite fun. It's not the best or meta, but it's really solid. It's got really fun projectiles, it's quite straightforward to use, and the skill tree isn't that expensive. And the Go Beyond ability is really good when you actually learn how to use it. The AoE moves make it really good in 1v1s and SBR, and it's quite good in main game. But it's not so good in 2v2s. To be honest, I really like where the stand is at, and I hope not much changes. Anyways, I think you guys should give the stand a try if you haven't already, or maybe pick it back up if you've dropped it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other tips, comment them down below, as I'd love to hear more opinions about this stand. Anyways, thank you for watching, and see you soon.